Like, if you can't be seen and you can't be heard, you will be forgot about.
Yeah.
I would research the HR manager's name.
Yeah.
I'd walk in, I've got a meeting with so-and-so.
And you didn't?
And I didn't. But it got to a point where, like, my body was rejecting me. Like, my body.
Talk to us about that. When you say it got so bad, what was that? What was happening?
I would say if I didn't have an ego, I wouldn't have been in such a bad place. I went down to just selling everything. Every rejection I got from knocking on someone's door gave me a better introduction when I went to the next one. I've got nothing left. Sound like Ian Bill or Feast Enders, but that's how I felt. When you haven't got an option to fall short, is when you will find a way to make something work.
Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the Rich in Success podcast. Not only the Rich in Success podcast, but the 150th episode of the Rich in Success podcast. Can we get like a round of applause? Can we get like a celebration? Can we get a do-do-do-do? We've hit a milestone. Thank you as always for joining me on this show. If you've been joining me on this show for a while, I appreciate you. If it's your first time, I still appreciate you. You should stay here. You should hang about with us. The show that brings you motivation, inspiration, and education on how you can live a happier, healthier, and more successful, and importantly, a more fulfilled life. What a guest we've got today. So today's guest has been penned the Clubhouse King, Mr. Ashely Shipman. For those of you who don't know who Ashely is, I just want to give you a little bit of a background because we purposely didn't really go into his Clubhouse journey because I feel a lot of people that follow Ashely, you know, they listen to him on Clubhouse every day, they know the score with that, but I also understand a lot of my audience won't. So ultimately, this time last year, in terms of social media presence, Ashely Shipman was a nobody. I mean that with respect. I mean, he was still a somebody, but he didn't really invest time into building a personal brand. He was on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. But his background was he had a lot of success at a very, very young age in his early 20s as a broker, and very quickly he ended up managing a team of over 50 people. So he had a lot of responsibility, a lot of expectations at a young age, and he did very, very, very well for himself. But his journey then took a different route. He realised that happiness isn't within the money. It then spiraled into depression. He lost a lot of money, and he was a little bit at kind of a low ebb, should we say. And then basically at the beginning of this year, Ashely Shipman joined the new social media app Clubhouse, which for those who don't know is an audio-based platform. It's a little bit like podcasting, but in live, real time. And he just hustled like a motherfucker. I don't think there's a better way you can put it. He was on there for hours and hours and hours a day. And within a matter of weeks, had built an incredible community. He then ended up becoming a co-founder of a really, really popular and successful club, which is called the Winners Club. They do a breakfast show every single morning live from 6:30 a.m., which is called Breakfast with Winners, and they do that 6 days a week. And here we are now in October, 10 months later, where he still shows up consistently. He's grown his personal brand on Clubhouse to have over 50,000 engaged and organic followers. And how has he done it? Real old school work ethic and hustle combined with the consistency over time. So I just have massive admiration and respect for that alone. He openly says, I'm not the most talented, I'm not, the most intellectual, but he will always focus on being the hardest worker, and I just really admire that. So I think you'll get a lot of value from this episode. I hope you enjoy it. Also, Ashely very kindly agreed to do an exclusive members only interview, which is his main tips for how you can get better at selling. So his background really is being an expert when it comes to sales. He now shares some of his wisdom. He also gives some recommendations for what he thinks are the books you need to read if you want to get better at selling. If you want to hear that members only exclusive interview, you can become a Rich in Success member today for a trial month of just £19. There'll be more about that later. And also, I'm going to be running a 5-day Make More Money challenge where for 5 days, every single morning, I'm going to be going live, giving you some specific tips, actions, and a strategy for you to go away and implement within that 24 hours, designed solely to help you make more money. I'll be discussing more of that at the end of this episode. Make sure you stay to the very end to find out what that entails and how you can get involved. But without further ado, please enjoy episode 150 of the Rich in Success podcast. This is Building Your Brand with the Clubhouse King, Ashely Shipman. And just before we dive straight into today's Rich in Success podcast episode, I wanted to share with you what becoming a Rich in Success member could actually do for your life. Now, if you're somebody that is at a point where you're serious about positive change, whether that be in your health, your well-being, your mindset, your business, your career, your finances, or your relationships, the Rich in Success membership is perfect for you. For just £39 a month, you get access to over 40 training videos where I'll be taking you through everything from goal setting. We'll be looking at high performance habits. We'll be looking at different changes you can make to your mindset and your attitude that are going to be able to propel you to have more success in every single area of your life. And in addition to these training videos, every month you will get a live group coaching call with me where you can ask me any questions about the content or about things that you're going through in your life so that I can help you personally as your coach. And as well as that, there will be exclusive bonus interviews with experts in a variety of fields. I'm bringing together the best minds, the best experts from all around the world to give you access to the very best content to help you move forward in your life. All this for just £39 a month, reoccurring subscription that you can cancel at any time. To become a Rich in Success member today, please click the link below or head on over to richinsuccess.com where you can sign up there. And I will look forward to seeing you in the exclusive members area very soon. Ashely, first and foremost, thank you for bringing us to the hub where the clubhouse magic happens. This is the Winners Club, the Breakfast with Winners studio, right?
Yeah, this is HQ. This is where the magic happens.
I didn't actually know this is where he was bringing me. So I came in, I was like, oh shit, we've hit the big time, we're here. We've just been having a right chat while Jimmy was setting up. And I think what happens a lot with these podcasts is I have an idea of where I want to start.
Yep.
And if we're having a good chat before, which we just did,
yeah,
I'm like, fuck that shit.
This is what I said to you before. It's just,
yeah.
I think that the scripted stuff, just let people in, let people see who you are.
Yep.
Because the thing is, this is the issue today. Like there's too many smoke and mirrors. Like let people into your life, let them actually know who you are. Then they can relate to you.
Social media is just full of showing, I know it's cliche and you hear it a lot, but it's people showing their best wins, their best life. And we all know that's not the whole story. And that's why everybody that follows you knows you've had an incredible year, like a mad year.
Yeah.
They know the clubhouse wins. They know, the success. But as soon as we started chatting, that's not what we started on. We started going, that it's not all been like that. And I'm like, well, that's what we need to talk about.
When I see someone's life of pure brilliance, I'm obsessed with getting around the right people. So I know what real business people are doing and what challenges they face every single day. And when I see people showing pure brilliance, it actually sort of says to me, you're either not doing it,
yeah,
or you're living a lie. Because
it's just bullshit.
it is pure. It's pure BS. That is it. Because I think that the only way you grow, get to new levels, is by facing problems, hardship, and testing things that don't work. And that's where people give up. But as you said, before Clubhouse, it was... I'll condense it down very, very short. Went up to the city, knocked on doors, relentless. Like, I left school early. Like, as you can probably tell, you speak to a lot of people that are just on moving forward. They probably didn't stick to the school system very, very well. Yeah. But I actually, the surprising thing, I finished school with very, very, very good grades. Very good grades, like up in the top tier of my year.
What would you say naturally you've got intellect, but you just didn't want to work in that system in that way?
100%. Like, how can we get this done quick and effective?
Yeah.
That is it. How can I get this part of my life done, completed, and not wasted the opportunity?
So when you say you finished early, you actually like left school?
Yeah, no.
How old was you?
I left school when I was 15.
Yeah.
I left school when I was 15. I went to the city because what actually happened was I ended up hanging around, as you say, and with an older years. Like, so I was always with people that was 6, 7, 8 years older than me. Like, I wanted...
That's interesting. I was the same. It's something about, I don't know, it's maybe that maturity, isn't it? Like, I always felt like the people my age were just immature. They didn't get it. They didn't see the bigger picture. No,
that statement hits the nail on the head.
Yeah.
I'm around people that are talking about making moves for their future and like buying lovely things, buying new cars at the time when it was all the thing when you were that age. And how was they doing it? And at the time where I'm quite close to London, it was to get in the city. I don't know if it's still the same up there, but it was a statement. If you could get up there...
Yeah. You're doing good.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
And you would find a way to do good. And I only noticed that when I was up there for a while, the opportunities just come. But getting up there, I've said this previously, and I don't say it a lot, but I started as a post boy. I was so resilient, just knocking on doors. I would research the HR manager's name.
Yeah.
I'd walk in. I've got a meeting with so-and-so.
And you didn't?
And I didn't. So I got a lot of, no, you haven't. And one woman, I won't say her name, but she was like, have I missed something? And then I sort of just said, I just need an opportunity to get my foot in the door. And she was just like, let's go and have a chat then. She was like, we have nothing available. I said, it's just give me the opportunity. And nothing come of it a while, and then a little bit passed. And she said, I haven't stopped thinking about like what you done, like
the confidence, the courage.
Like she's like, I've never had that happen to me before, but the way you articulated it, the way you prepared, the way you walked in with that confidence, and got noticed. And I just said, look, I just need an opportunity. And from that, we was just talking. She was like, these companies that they can afford to have a bit of dead weight in the business, and that's basically what I was.
That was the start.
That's what I was doing. And I sat there opening letters for the brokers all day. That's all I done. And within 3 weeks, they gave me to work as a desk assistant. Then things just went very, very fast. Like when I had like the big boys in the office, they say, do this, do that. I was doing it, implementing it, taking action. And this is where a lot of people I see in life get given such phenomenal advice. And
Don't act on it.
Act on it.
Yeah.
Like, act on it.
Immediately. Just go.
Just go. Like,
yeah.
And from that, I had a very, very fast moving career. Like, I've done very well for myself. Like, for my age group, like, I was overtaken. I was, like, but as they say, with any high, there's always a low. And on that journey from going to postboy to running a floor, like, and helping build a company, I was young. And
you in charge of how many people?
It went from 50 to 80, and you were
how old?
24.
madness.
24, and
you had people older than you looking to you for the answers that you were having to lead.
but the reason is, and this is what I want to make very clear, like, people go, oh, like, you must have got lucky. Like, no, I outworked every single person.
Yeah.
I learned every stage of my industry. So I could talk from experience, not from a textbook. And this is where I think people get it wrong, because the thing is, you put the textbook in front of me, it didn't match with what was coming out of my mouth, because I was like, I've been there, I've done it, I've failed and got it right. Yeah? I was never an expert, because I think you can always be improving. But I knew how to do every position within the company.
Through experience.
Through experience.
And we were talking about this just before we started, the amount of coaches that coach people on how to run a business when the only business they run is a coaching business. They've got no experience in business, hiring, firing, all the day-to-day stresses. And that's something I'm mindful of in this day and age of social media. Anyone can say they're a coach, anyone can say they're a consultant, 7-figure earner. Where's your fucking experience? Where's the proof? And there's no better learning ground than fucking up and being out there doing it.
Well, the thing is, it's like, people always say to me, like, tell me about some wins. And I think, when you look at the wins and the learning, the learnings of, if you put it on a scale, it's just
well outweighed,
well outweighs. And I think you're always learning, but what happens is, and I'm going to go on to learning, I done very well with a good support system. And this is where I think people get it wrong, and I will be open. They think they're a business owner.
Yeah.
They think they know how to run a business.
Yeah.
Because they done well in their lane, they done well in their part of a conveyor belt or a ecosystem that, like, I would say we've all been there. If I weren't here, this wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people. You do think that when your ego's big, you've done well.
Start believing your hype.
You start, But what you didn't realise was the support, the ecosystem that you had around you for you to perform at your peak.
Yeah.
And after, and I'm going to go on to this, I thought I was a business owner. I really, really did. Because I'd done very well with the support system. I went on my own. And that, I can tell you something now, I call them wisdom streaks in my hair. They're not grey hairs. That is why I've got loads.
I'm using that.
They're called wisdom streaks. And I think, and they're like little badges of honour. When I see another one, I'm like, just wearing them with pride. Because the thing is, I've surrounded myself with people that are very high net worth individuals. And they're like, just pick the option. You're going to go bald or you're going to go grey. Yeah? At least try and wear the grey. But
I'm going for grey, man. I'm going for grey.
But from that, from me thinking I was a business owner, I made a lot of mistakes. Yeah? And things... So I'd done very, very well with a good support system. Went on my own, spreaded myself too thin, thinking I needed multiple streams of income, wasn't focused. And I remember, like, things crumbling. And do you know what? I had such an ego at the time, I couldn't even ask for help. Like, I was just... I was like, I will find a way out with my relentless just fight for life. Like, I couldn't let the barrier down. I just thought... and this is why I always say to people, like, please just drop that ego. Like, drop it, because I would say if I didn't have an ego, I wouldn't have been in such a bad place. I wouldn't have been in a bad place. I would have been able to reach out for help and ask for it. And I wish I did earlier. I had to wait until it got so bad before I'd ask for help. But if I'd asked for help when I started seeing them cracks, then... we could have just, my team, we could have just got things right quicker. But it got to a point where, like, my body was rejecting me. Like, my body.
Talk to us about that. When you say it got so bad, what was that? What was happening?
So I had a team. The wage bill weren't there. I would find a way. Like, I just didn't stop. And then this is another thing. It's like controversial to what I'm saying, and it could sound a bit hypocritical. It's like, keep that enthusiasm when it's not going right. Like, that is how you're going to win. Yeah. And And I think you need to know the fine line between asking for help
Yeah.
and keep the enthusiasm high, keep pushing every day, put your suit on. It was only that I've got a few core team members around me they've been with me for years. And I remember this vividly. It was, I walked in the office and I kept getting asked for a while, you okay? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, just crack on. Like, you okay? I was putting on weight. My eyes were black. I didn't even do my hair. Like, I was just being beaten black and blue. But I think sometimes as a leader of a team, you can't bring someone, let's just say, like, phenomenal high performer, but they're workers. You can't put that pressure onto them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see that a lot within businesses. My boss is really struggling. They shouldn't be done. They should be there to perform, and you're only affecting their performance by putting that problem on there. And I think it just got worse, and I just
because you had no one to turn to that you was comfortable asking to help you.
No, and this comes back to also finding the people that have been through it. There's a lot of people that go, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well,
have you actually done it? The reality is very different.
The reality is very different. Like, it's, oh yeah, just like borrow money. I remember sitting in the bank and just like, is there a way of you just lending me money? I will find a way out of it. Nope, getting refused left, right and centre. I went down to just selling everything. And this was a very humbling moment. And I think you can always tell when someone's been humbled. You can tell. Like, I think I had such a fast-paced career that, as I said, with any big high, there's always a low.
We spoke about this just before. I think what you're saying there about being humbled, the best thing is you had so much so young, like so much success, that you learn that that's not where happiness really is. And you learn that the ego you get from that is your enemy. And sometimes you need all that to go the exact opposite end. And that's why today, sat here, you've got the experience, the humbleness that you say, that is more valuable than any textbook.
I would say, I look at people now that are doing very well for themselves, yeah? And I think until you're humbled...
Yeah, you ain't got a fucking clue, mate.
You haven't got a clue. And it is one of the most, like, painful things you have to go through. Like, popping your own ego, yeah? And having nowhere to turn to. It's and as you said, it was, you have to go through it. I would say, I would look, when people go, what would you say to your younger self? Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you that because it's a wanky question, but go on.
But what I'm saying is, I wouldn't even want to say, it'd be stop being, and I wouldn't even want to say the words live, because I was such an arrogant whatever. So if anyone who like listens to this, like, have a real look at yourself, yeah? Like, who have you become? Like, what is your mission? What is your vision? What's your values? What is, if you're just attached to the monetary outcome, you're going to have a big reality check soon. Because I've seen it over and over and over again, because your purpose of why you go and do something will outshine any money. Like, fulfillment and... I believe you've got to earn money, of course. Like, you've got to do very well for yourself. But just think behind, like, have bigger whys than that. Like, have bigger whys than that. And when...
Because it's a hungry and unfulfilling machine once you just chase the money.
Well, the thing is...
It's never enough.
I got taught... So when you're on that, when you venture that personal development journey, we've all been there. Yep. And you set goals. Yeah. The first thing I got taught, and I ask questions a lot. Anyone around me will know I ask questions, because if I fully don't get it, or I want to know why, and I want to know the method behind the madness. Yeah. I always do. And someone said to me, when you set a goal, this was early on, and they said, and I was like, I want X amount of money. Yeah. And they was like, you don't. You need to take the monetary value away from the goal. And I said, why? Tell me why. They was like, let's just throw a random figure out there. Let's just say you wanted to hit £10,000 by X, yeah?
Yeah.
If I turned around and said, there's 8, you will let that slide, that extra 2.
Yep.
If there's a vision, there's a mission, I don't know, it could be a luxury, you can't fall short.
It ain't sliding.
You can't fall short.
Yeah.
And that's when your mindset will change. Like when you haven't got an option to fall short is when you will find a way to make something work. Other than that, you will let it fall short every time. And I'd like to throw the question at you. Have you ever put a monetary goal there, fell short, and was okay with that? Because
100%. 100%.
yeah, it's and that's why I always think like my go for it attitude is because it's like the legacy I want to leave is so much bigger than what I am, what I want to do. It's crazy, and this is why I like to get into people's head. Like, so if people listening and if their goals are monetary values, like, then switch it up, connect something a bit more like fruitful to that. That you're gonna be like, I can't because I have to do this, and
the money can just be a byproduct rather than the main focus.
It's a very. I got told by one of my mentors that I said, can I just copy everything you do, like, please? Like, I just watch everything you do and I copy it. And he went to me, if you follow me, he said, I'm going to give you an analogy so you understand why this can't happen. I said, okay. Still not wanting to believe it. Just wanted him to let me copy what he done because I knew how successful he was.
Yeah, but go on, I'll listen.
And he went, and so I was like, go on, I'll listen. And then he said, follow me. He said, right, imagine me and you walking along the beach. You have to step exactly into my footprints. Yeah? Do you reckon that's going to be easy or do you reckon it's going to be hard? Me trying to win over, I wanted to copy him, said, easy. He said, you're a liar. It's going to be hard. As soon as we're 100 steps in and you take 1 foot out of place, you're in a world of la la land, no man's land. You won't know where you are. So you need to go and find what serves you.
Yeah.
And be the best at that.
Yeah.
He said, like, he said, if you gave me a sponge to clean that window, I will clean it better than anyone. He said, and that is the mentality you've got to have. Like, I'm not that guy that's like I will beat you at everything. Like, I know I've got to beat myself every day. Like, I've got to look at and they say it's all cliche, but like, did I do enough today? And you see videos and it's like people that work hard always question themselves if they've done enough, but lazy people always seem to be contented.
They're all good.
They're all good.
They seem to be the ones moaning a lot though, and depressed. So if they get honest with themselves. Going back to what you said at the beginning, you know, the early days of walking into rooms and saying you had an appointment that you didn't have. I just think that people listening to that will think, fucking hell, I would not have the balls. Like, the courage to put myself out there like that. Where do you think that came from for you at such a young age?
I grew up in my area, there's a wealth divide. I went on the good side.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I was on the bad side.
But it weren't the good.
What I'm saying is, when it come down to people's first cars they got for their birthday.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting something that chugs along, like, that I've had to go and cut grass to get. And my friends are pulling up in brand spanking new cars. It was like, how do I get that? Like I haven't, like, and it's minor, but it's little things like that when I was young, thinking, oh, I want that. I want that.
But I think a lot of people have that. A lot of people are not born into wealth. What's the difference with you?
The difference with me is that nothing's going to stop me getting to where I want to go. And until you take that barrier down of that, oh, imagine what someone think of me. Like, so what? Like, so what?
I know, was you always like that? You didn't give a fuck?
Yeah, I like, yeah, if you actually look back at my life, yeah, it was just like...
And where do you think that come from? And the only reason I'm pressing on it is these are two of the biggest things that hold people back. They lack the confidence to put themselves out there.
What have you got to lose?
And they fear judgment.
What have you got to lose? You've only got to learn. Every rejection I got from knocking on someone's door gave me a better introduction when I went to the next one. So I just think, like, if you want something in life, like, people, this is another thing that grinds me. Yeah, people go to me, but I've done everything. I promise you, within 10 seconds, I can find 10 things you haven't done. And until I can go home and go, I've done everything in the space that I was given, yeah, and then if I do lose, I don't achieve what I need to achieve, like, at least I can say, I did everything I could. And that's where I think, I don't like talking about it because I'm not the best, but I enjoy boxing.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've got, like, that sport, other than me not being very good at the sport, teaches you a lot about yourself. Teaches you a lot about yourself. And, like, people will know, I don't know if you've done boxing or anything like that.
I'm fucking terrible.
But have you ever got in the ring?
No.
That, like, even when...
That's real personal development right there, when it's you versus someone else in the ring. I'm
not saying that, literally, I'm probably, like, the worst boxer, like, but what it was like, I remember it was quite funny. I was with my trainer. I said, just let me do it. It was a fear. Like, it was a fear. I was watching these guys annihilate each other, and it was a fear inside me, and I was just like, the only way I can get out of it is by putting myself in it. Yeah, and then it becomes addictive. Like that, like, think of, like, I always like to say to people, what's that fear in your head? Like, go do it. Just go do it. Like, I said, what's the worst that can happen? He said, you'll probably get knocked out. Yep. Yeah, I got knocked out, broken nose, 2 black eyes. But you know what? The fear weren't bad. It weren't that bad. Didn't really feel it. I was out cold. But what I'm saying is, it was done and it was over. And I think people need to start looking into themselves. Yeah. Get rid of that ego. Yeah. My ego wasn't then. My ego was when I started to do well in life. And surround yourself with the right people. And the thing is, please, if people are sitting there with no confidence right now, yeah, go and find someone who's self-made. Now, this is very, very clear. I made it self-made. Yeah. Not someone who's been passed down.
Yeah, and handed it.
Yeah. Like, ask them, like, what do I need to do? Yeah. Like, and I can guarantee you, my advice that I'm saying only got handed down to me from self-made people. Go and put yourself there. Like, people, like, if you can't be seen and you can't be heard, you will be forgot about. Yeah. So, like, these people are, opportunities never come. Yeah. Like, what are you doing to be seen? What are you doing to be heard? What are you doing to improve yourself? Like, please, just go mess up. And every time you mess up, and I want people to think that, like, in a situation right now that they may have gone through, what did you learn from that situation? That's the most important thing. Like, what did I learn? So when I was knocking on doors, yeah, what, you think I walked in with pure confidence? No, I needed to get myself, like, it probably was a little bit of an ego thing. You used to see everyone in the city. Oh, it's the place to be. Like, if nothing's gonna do it, my personality's gonna get me there. Like, I'm just gonna walk in and keep asking, and every time my presentation to people that never seen me before got better and better and better every time. But that only happened because I took action, and that is, like, anyone around me, anyone I work with will know. And what I find very good now is I have good people around me. Yeah, important. And I used to take action very fast. Yeah. And foul very fast. Now I can take calculated action. Yeah. And that is very important. But I will say, look, in that part of my life, I had nothing to lose. Yeah. Yeah. Everything to gain. Yeah. Yeah. And do you know what?
I think that's it as well. I think some people have too much to lose, so they play it safe. Yeah, they won't put themselves out there.
But like, I'm going to say this to anyone listen. What have you really got to lose? Like, I lost everything. Like I said to you before, like, I was selling everything.
And this is after you'd made good money, been successful.
Yeah, like I was, after I had the nicer things in life, it got to my head. Like, to bite the bullet, and it's like, I got into a place where I didn't even know where to turn, because the thing is, I the mindset of at that time was horrendous. Like horrendous. Like, all I thought was that everyone wanted to see this.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to see this. Everyone wanted to see me at the bottom. That's all they wanted. Yeah? But there was just a negative mindset I was going through. And
how did that happen? How did you get from such a high to such a low? Was it just the ego, believing your own hype, obviously overspending?
Yeah. And the thing is, it was like not reaching out when I should have, left it too long.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, this was like a couple of years, about 5 years ago, and I everything gone. Like, and then it was like I buried my head in the sand longer than I should have.
Yeah.
Like, because I thought, fuck it, I've got nothing left. Sound like Ian Bill or Feast Enders, but that's how I felt. So I thought, what's an extra week got to do moping around?
Yeah.
That extra week is, I wish I didn't. But what I'm saying is, and this is where it goes back to, like at that time, and I'll always praise her, my wife. Like I was curled up, just like deflated. I looked ill, and she'd be ironing my shirt, saying, "You've done it before. You can do it again. You've got what not to do this time." Like we've all been there. No, when you just want to sulk.
Yeah.
You want to sulk. You want to bury your head.
But I think that's part of your process you had to go through as well, because you're gonna go through a natural place of, well, I've fucking had it all. I don't know if I've got the energy to go through it all again. And you sometimes need that right mentor or person in your life just to believe in you again. And it sounds like that's what your wife was, to say, come on.
And then I was going with my head between my tail between my legs to old friends, just saying, hello, how you doing? And I told them, their response was, yeah, but you go get it again, wouldn't you? Like, and I'm thinking, and it was installing confidence. And then I remember I was just back at it, just trying to do everything just to get a buck through the door.
Yeah.
And then my wife became pregnant. But what I'm saying is, I was in a hole. Like, so what I'm saying, even if I was earning, I was always picking up from, like, so if it come in, it covered something that I'd borrowed to keep things alive. It was coming in and it was just going out. And I remember things just seem to happen really fast in my life. And I think I probably attract that because I'm quite a tenacious, just.
That's your mentality, driven, focus.
Yeah, it's my mentality. And I remember my first child being born, and that was the moment that my ego just went, because it's not about me no more.
Like instantly changed.
Instantly, when I see my little girl,
yeah,
it was like, what does she want? What does she want? A role model that, like, I just needed to make sure that I support her in every way, shape, or form. I brought her into this life. Yeah? I need to make sure that I provide a platform for steady growth, like for her to be successful in anything she wants. And that was the real game changer, because it's all about me. It was like, no one wants to help. Like, I don't care no more. Like, literally, I've got bigger aspirations and a bigger why now.
Yeah.
That no one, I don't care what you say. And this was when I think the big turning point happened, when my daughter was born. Like, it was like, when anyone who's a parent will know that love. You can't describe it. It was like, it was a life changer for me. And in anything I do now, is like, my kids, my family are behind it. It's not about a bit of money. It's not about this. It's about making sure that I provide and support them in the best way I can. And even when it come down to when she was born, it was like I was still scraping around for money. Like I understand you've got to make money, and then people would go, "Oh, you haven't got to do it for me. You need money."
Mm. So it's a resource that's going to bloody help you, right?
Of course, but if you focus on delivering a good service, focus on doing good, and money will be a byproduct.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, this is where people go, yeah, but I just want to make an impact. Like, if you want to make a bigger impact, fill your cup up first.
Yes.
And this is what I say to people as well. Like, yeah, but it's not all about the money, yeah? But okay, if you did have better cash flow coming through the door, you'll be able to deliver more of an impact.
Yeah.
And this is where people get that confused. We go, but you need to make... Yeah, I know you do. But how could you make a bigger impact? Fill your cup up first. I was literally the world's worst, and I still sometimes do it now. Always be filling cups up. Because I just know how it feels.
Yeah.
I know...
That's the thing I get about Clubhouse is, so going back, I mean, what a year you've had, because what you're saying there about being at your lowest is literally a couple of years ago. We're not talking like 10 years ago.
No.
We're talking just before the massive success.
4 years, yeah, about 3-4 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember back in like January time, you was everywhere on Clubhouse. Like hustling. Like how many hours were you on that motherfucking platform?
It's the thing is, do you know what? And then I'm gonna say that what I love about Clubhouse is if I had that space 4 years ago, like I just wouldn't have, things would be different in my life.
Yeah.
Things would be different in my life. And what actually happened was I was spending hours on there. And but by this, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I needed to create a space so no one would have to experience. If I sat here and went deep, it's life-changing scars inside, but lessons that I've taken, wisdoms that I've taken to move forward. But what I want to make sure is that, like, anyone who is on Clubhouse and knows, they can come in with any problem, any challenge, and the winners just pour into them. Yeah, because we've all been there, and I'm going to say it to you. Entrepreneurship, starting out a business, even being a high performer, it's a lonely journey.
Incredibly.
And I've not heard someone not agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what I want to do is create a space for that. And now it's previous, let's just say 12 months before Clubhouse even come around. I've had quite a few experiences in my life that have made me go, I'm going for it now. Thinking that's me at performance.
Yeah.
Yeah? No, I'm really going for it now.
Yeah.
And as much as these are probably traumatic experiences sometimes, like the fuel it gives me. So, like, I don't like to heavily touch on it, but in my family, we lost my brother-in-law to suicide. And from that, everyone just seemed to want me to have the answers. And it's like, that's just, I don't know. I don't know about you being in business. Like a lot of your family members just seem to think you have the answers. Yeah. It's just, you're very logical.
Yeah. Because you have to be. You've always got to find the solution.
Exactly. And that was it's a very imprinted stage in my life.
Yeah. And
due to the suicide and due to the impact on my family. Seeing my sister not carrying herself, seeing my mum, my dad, who are your role models, and stepping up to the mark, it was like, I know it had a massive effect on them, and they had time out of work, and in that frame of mind was like, I need to make sure, God forbid their health wasn't good or anything, I can support all of them. And that was when it was like, no one is stopping me now, because my why is getting stronger and stronger every time. And from that, it's like when I come up against, you know, they call it competition, people trying to bring you down, like my mission and vision is so different. It's too strong. Like you can't dent it. People close to me might think that some people have tried to. Well, it is. I like to vent, and this is another thing that people need to do is offload what's going on in your head. Yeah. And I do offload quite a lot. And a lot of people I work with could always vouch for that. I always offload because I think, why am I going to let it stew? And then when I look at people now and I can see their mission, their vision, like their why, the reason why they do what they do, and I just think like, we're worlds apart.
Yeah.
We are really worlds apart, because the thing is, it's and this is so important now. It's that you align yourself with people with the same attitude of that, because I remember we had quite a good meeting with a few partners and things like that, and we all smiled at the end. And I remember it because someone was like, all we've spoke about in this meeting wasn't profit, wasn't revenue, wasn't how much money we can make. Naturally was like, how do we serve at the highest level? And all the ideas were just about how to serve at the highest level. And it was so refreshing, because I've been in wealth management and it was always numbers. Like, I've been in that, and then when you see it from the other point of view, you're like, wow. Like, and it is, because the thing is, as you said, the money will be a byproduct to delivering a good service. Like, but it's just things like that. And then, I just want to make sure that everyone don't have to experience what I went through. And I was the pain I went through. People don't need to go through, because I had an ego and I wouldn't let no one in. I wouldn't let no one help me. But then this is why the Winners Club's there. It's to make sure people have the access to come and get support, and
other people that have been through it, other people that are a few steps ahead. You can learn from that. When you said you were starting up and you had, hurdles and competition and so on, I imagine there would have been a lot of things that happened to you that other people would have just quit. But what you're saying is your why was too big. What was? Can you give us examples of what in the early days you had to overcome and how you did?
Well, no one turning up to the rooms. Before I go into it, there's something I got taught. This will go out to anyone who's out there grinding every day, out there hustling every day, is that if you go and create a way or pave a path, and you stand at the end of that, let's just say you paved your way up to the top of the mountain, don't stand up there celebrating, that's not winning. Winning is going back down and bringing everyone through the path that you created, like that is literally how winning is done. Like leaders create leaders.
That's the win. Because it's fucking lonely at the top on your own.
But it's not that. It's
help some other people, man.
It's not that. Get a reward from all that fighting you've done. Like I get so satisfied. Like when I just even when we went to that event, AMC, it's like
seeing what you've done, what the community there, what you've created, how they're benefiting. The
overwhelm of happiness of wow. Was that was so worth the shit I was getting put through behind the scenes. Because the thing is, that place was very dominated. Very, very dominated. There was no space. I walked onto the app with... I didn't use social media that much personally. I come from a space where you worked every day, you grafted every day. Social media was just for your friends and family. So if you look back at my stuff, it was just friends and family, a few likes, a few comments. So I walked onto that app with something that okay, here's an opportunity. Here is an opportunity, and I thought with me, as I said to you outside, it's that if the opportunity feels right, no one's stopping me. I am literally going 0 to 100 real quick. Or I'm not going at all. And that's the mentality. And the reason that mentality's come round is because I used to do half-hearted things. And they were distraction. They take your mind off everything. And do you know what? There's something I need to hear. It was hard doing it on my own. It was hard. I was doing endless hours, trying to build something, trying to get my message across was hard. Because everyone just wanted to tell you how successful they was, and it was trying to get in between that was hard. The legwork I was sticking in behind the scenes, I was relentless. Anyone who gave me the time of the day, I was like, let's jump on a call. Do you want to come in the room? Do you want to start a room? And because I thought, and I wanted to make it strong that there's no pitching in that room. There's no pitching in that room.
Such a refreshing thing that I get from the Winners Club is, I know it said a lot about give value, but it's genuinely, you go in there, you're going to hear, even if you just listen for 5-10 minutes, there'll be a nugget or two you take away, and nobody sold you anything.
And do you know what? It's very rich because I come from a background
Sales.
of sales. And the thing is, what I need to make sure is a safe space. Yeah. I'm not undermining anyone's product or service.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it comes from the Winners Club and they've bought through the Winners Club and they don't deliver, it can affect me. But I want that space where people can come and get the sound solid advice without having without having to go and if someone went to me 4 or 5 years ago, look, pay me 20 grand, and I was over, I couldn't even find 20 grand.
Yeah.
And that's when I know there's people in that position right now. Whether they want to admit it or publicly say it, you just know that. And I'm not undermining it. I've been there, and I've been there multiple times. So I'm creating this space for you to come and utilise to move forward. And that's when we've partnered with James and Paul, and having that partnership with them, they're phenomenal. You stay in your lane. You can only go so far on your own. So then when we've got James, phenomenal at what he does, Paul, phenomenal at what he does, and got the same mission and vision as what we've all put out on the table, and it's phenomenal stuff. And that's why we created the app. We could have sat there and pitched from stage every single day. Yeah? My life's about sustainability now.
Longevity, isn't it? It's a short-term win.
Yeah.
Selling. Again, it's that hungry conveyor belt of in, out, in, out. You're building relationships, legacy that'll last forever.
And that I've been there. I've done quick wins.
Yeah.
Done in and out. Like, when you're in the city, it's a revolving door. Like, you're only as good as you. They say last month, I'd say the day before.
Yeah.
But
you've learned that's not where real fulfillment and success comes.
No way.
That's what I love. I think anybody that I speak to that's had that quick win young, they all say, I'm so glad I had it, to learn that that's not where the success is.
And I want to be honest as well. When people go, money doesn't make you happy, of course it does if you use it in the right way.
Yeah, 100%.
Of course it does. Like, I'm not saying I've got loads of money. I'm not saying that one bit. What I'm saying is I've had some good fun.
Yeah. And
what I'm saying is it's just like, make sure that, like, as I said earlier, make sure you can make a bigger impact. Like make things bigger than you. Like, anyone who's listening to this, make sure that it's like, you know who you are, and you know if you're there. Like, oh, what shall I get next? What shall I get next? I'm going to buy them trainers. I'm going to buy that watch. I'm going to buy that car. Yeah. Well, no, if you've got wife or kids, like, start thinking about their education.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, start thinking about, like, bigger things than you. That's when, I promise you now, if you can switch to that mindset, you won't need to find motivation. You won't need to listen to motivational videos.
Yeah.
You will look at your family in the eyes in the morning when you go get ready for work. If you leave as early as I do, they're still sound though. But it doesn't matter. I look at them with, like, this is for you. It's like, okay, and this where it goes down to work-life balance, and people are going to really not like what I'm going to say. I don't think you can have it. I don't think you can have it. And I think only until you mess up and work. I used to work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, and give no time. And you need to, like, just please make sure you give time to your support system.
Yeah.
Yeah? Give time to your break away from the hard hustle that you're doing every day. Yeah? Trust me, they'll realign you, they'll motivate you. And yeah, it's just to see them smile on their face. Like, I know it's not monetary things and it's time, but buying them little presents and spending time with your family, I promise you now, you won't need to go on YouTube and find another motivational video. Like, make your purpose bigger, like, please. And then do you know what? There's so many benefits to that. So many benefits, because the thing is, someone gives you an hard day or tries to throw a bit of shit at you, like, it ain't coming near.
Keep throwing, mate.
It ain't coming near. Can you give me some bricks so I can start building my empire, please? Just keep them coming. And I think that's when you flip that mindset. So if anyone is listening right now and they are them people that are, they know they're looking at their next Range Rover, they're looking at their next watch, like take you out the equation. Like, make sure you're fulfilled, of course. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying
you get bigger fulfillment from the impact you have on people, not a fucking watch.
and change that, and it's rich for me to say it because I've done it. Yeah. Maybe you have to go do it. If you haven't done it yet, go and do it. Go and do it.
That's how you realise you don't need to do it.
Yeah, go. Yeah. So
I did it recently with a bodybuilding competition, right? I always aspired to have.
Yeah,
that
I see. I was just
six-pack.
hoping you weren't going to have a tight top on today.
Hey, I've covered up for you. I always aspired to have it, and now I've had it. I go, I don't fucking want that. It was miserable. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Like, to create that six-pack meant every other area of my life suffered. My value system
I love that.
is different, but I had to do it. I had to scratch that itch to know I didn't want it.
Yes, and that I actually love that. Like every other area of your life will suffer.
Yes.
Because the thing is, there is no balance. Like I can imagine, like I do go to the gym, and I can't imagine what it takes to get where you stripped yourself to.
Well, for me, it was an eating disorder. For me, it was eating everything I wanted because I was craving so much, and then throwing up in the toilet. You know, it's the least healthiest I've been.
But you have to do it, and do you know what?
Yeah.
If you haven't done it, it's probably going to come back to bite me in the arse. But
I don't think it is. I think fucking do it and learn, because it was what we said right at the beginning. Experience is the biggest teacher. Yes. We can tell you what to do. Go and do what not to do. Then you can come on and join us and be like, I agree.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, if you've been there and got it, and you're still looking at it, make your purpose bigger. Yeah.
We're gonna have to wrap up. I'm gutted. I want to talk for 3 hours because I feel like we've not even scratched the surface. So maybe we'll do something again with Paul and James as well. But we want to make time to do a members interview. So just before we finish and wrap up, what's the future of the Winners Club, the app? How do people find you? You know, give us all let us know where you're at with stuff. Okay,
so the best thing to do is, we got some real big exciting plans in the pipeline at the moment. But yeah, go to.
Can you share it? Is it all secret?
It's. I'm under.
That means no, you can't say it. Fine, tell me afterwards.
But yeah, go to the App Store and download the Winners Club app. It's free. There's a massive community there. There is a paid subscription. It's just to get every bit of recording. It's like the investment that's gone into building this app, yeah, like doesn't scratch the surface. Like the day-to-day production costs of producing the content, putting it, you would know, yeah. And yeah, it's a tiny subscription just to make sure that everyone has access to anything, like in their business, in their personal, in their relationships. It's just to make sure that you know you're not alone and you can really enjoy the content. But yeah, go and find it on the App Store. We're on Clubhouse most days under the Winners Club. And yeah, hit us up. All welcome.
And they can find you on Instagram.
Yeah, find me on Instagram.
And I just want to say, Ashely, like, thank you. Sitting here with you today, obviously, you know, you've been through a lot and you've got some real good experience to share. But the one thing I get, and I just want to share this with anyone that's listening or watching, is it's so clear that your intentions are so pure. You genuinely help people. You want to inspire people. And it's not the smoke and mirrors, the bullshit, living your best life. The authenticity is so clear. So I just want to say thank you for being one of those people. Instead of all these dickheads. You know you are.
but the thing is, it's like I said it to you earlier, I think when we was having a coffee.
Yeah.
Is that it's like, let your actions speak louder than your words. Like I know I want to make an impact. I know I want to help people. I never say, I don't just say it. Like,
you're too busy doing it, man. And
yeah, that's it. I'm too busy doing it. And like, just don't be that mouth in trousers. Yeah. And I always say it to someone: don't be a mouth in blouse or a mouth in dress, whatever you, female, male, whatever. But just don't be.
Gotta make sure everyone's covered.
just
whatever you wear, just don't be mouthy.
Just don't be that mouth.
Yeah.
Just show pure action. Yeah, and results will come, action will come. But that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Final question: I ask all my guests to finish the podcast. Ashely, what is your definition of success?
Oh.
And I won't hold you to it forever. Like, you can change the definition.
I just think I think the road to success is failure to failure without any loss of enthusiasm. And that
was Churchill, right?
Yeah, that I've got it up in my office.
Yeah.
because I think that is what you have to follow, and give value. I don't even like saying it. I just like to just let my actions speak.
Just do it.
Just do it. Keep going. Be consistent, and don't let space for problems to happen. If you become a freight train going at 100 miles an hour in the right direction, let me make sure, the right direction, nothing's stopping you. And that's when,
Beautiful.
that is exactly how you're going to succeed. Become a freight train at 100 miles an hour in the right direction. That is me done.
And there we go. I just want to say a massive thank you to Ashely for being so honest, so open, and sharing his experience and his wisdom. If you want to hear his main tips and also his recommendations for the main books you need to read, if you want to get better at being more competent and confident in selling, then make sure you become a Rich in Success member today to hear the exclusive interview with Ashely, the bonus additional motherfucking juicy special for members only. All you got to do is become a member today. It costs you just £19 for a trial month. You get access to everything, which includes this exclusive bonus interview. Check out a little preview now.
So when you understand the character trait you're dealing with, you can make sure you speak to them.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That you understand how best to communicate to them.
Yes, that is it. And I like,
Because that's what people get wrong. They think, well, I'd like this. Why don't you like it? We're all different.
Never. Like me and you could go and buy the same top.
Yeah.
But we're buying it probably for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the person who understands why my buying pattern and your buying pattern is the one who's going to win.
So there you go. Like I said, to become a Rich in Success member, all you've got to do is click the link in the show notes below or head over to richinsuccess.com, click on the members area. You can sign up immediately. It's just £19 for a trial month and then £39 per month after that as a recurring subscription that you can cancel at any time. You will get access to all interviews that are exclusive to members only, as well as over 40 mindset, daily habits, business, and branding training videos that I've created. In addition to that, you also get access to a private Facebook community with other like-minded individuals who are working on being the best they can be. But if you are listening to this podcast episode before the 8th of November, you have still got time to join us for my 5-day Make More Money challenge. So from Monday, the 8th of November, running for 5 consecutive days through to the Friday, I'll be running a Make More Money challenge exclusively for all my members. Now, what that will entail is every single morning I'll be going live in the Facebook group and giving you specific actionable steps that you must go away and implement within 24 hours that is all designed to help you make more money than you usually would within that 5 days. Now, this is open to absolutely anybody who is a member. Now, whether you own a business, whether you've started a side hustle, whether you're a network marketer, or whether indeed you are employed, there will be strategies and tips that can help you within that 5-day period make more money, guaranteed. So make sure you save the date, make sure you know it's from Monday, the 8th of November, and also schedule in some time on those 5 days to allow yourself to actually implement what it is I'll be telling you to implement. Because as I always say, the things that I give people, the coaching strategies that I pass forward only work if you take the time to do the work. So as I say, this challenge is open to you if you pick up a membership. You can get that today for just £19. All you got to do is click the link in the show notes below or head on over to richinsuccess.com, click the membership area, fill out your details, and you can become a member today. Guys, as always, thank you for being here, and I will see you next time as the journey of self-discovery and personal growth continues.
thank you so much for listening to today's Rich in Success episode. If this episode has impacted you, there's a few things we need you to do in order to help us make a wider positive change. Please spread the word. Tell a friend that you think will benefit from our message. Subscribe to the show on your chosen podcast platform and give the show a 5-star rating and review. Don't forget to like our social media pages and tag us on your Instagram stories. Your support means the world. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time as the journey of personal growth and self-discovery continues.